John Gill, Exposition of the Bible, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 20. Reading the King James Version of the verse first, quote, "Despise not prophesying," unquote. John Gill, quote, "Despise not prophesying," or prophecies. The prophecies of the Old Testament concerning the first coming of Christ, concerning his person, office, and work, his disobediency, sufferings, and death, his resurrection from the dead, ascension and session at God's right hand. For though all these are fulfilled, yet they have still their usefulness. For by comparing these with facts, the perfections of God, his omniscience, truth, faithfulness, wisdom, etc. are demonstrated, the authority of the Scriptures established, the truth of the gospel illustrated and confirmed, and faith strengthened, and besides, there are many prophecies with regard things to be done and yet to be done under the gospel dispensation, and therefore should not be set at naught, but highly valued and esteemed. Also the predictions of Christ concerning his own sufferings and death and resurrection from the dead, and what would befall his disciples afterwards, with many things relating to the destruction of Jerusalem, his second coming, and the end of the world. These should be had in great esteem, nor should what the apostles foretold concerning the rise of the Antichrist, the man of sin, and the apostasy of the latter days, and in the whole book of Revelation, which is no other than a prophecy of the state of the church, from the time of the apostles to the end of the world, be treated with neglect and contempt, but should be seriously considered and diligently searched and inquired into. Yea, the prophecies of private men, such as Agabus and others, in the apostles' time and later ages, are not to be slighted, though instances of this kind are rare in our times, and things of this nature should not be precipitately and without care given into, but rather prophesying here intend the explanation of Scripture and the preaching of the Word, and particularly by persons who had not the gift of tongues, and therefore men were apt to despise them. See 1 Corinthians 13, verse 2. Just as in our days, if persons have not had a liberal education and do not understand Latin, Greek, and Hebrew, though they have ministerial gifts and are capable of explaining the word to edification and comfort, yet are set at naught and rejected, which should not be, unquote. Read again the Scripture, quote, "Despise not prophesying," unquote. End of John Gill, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 20.